Good afternoon, Connected Empowerment. I am here with Kyle, and Kyle is going to share with us his story, which is absolutely powerful about growing up and even in how COVID has changed the way that he thinks and interacts with people. So Kyle has cleft lip and cleft palate, and how that affects or doesn't affect his daily life. I will tell you from what I know of him, a very, very smart guy, just super guy, super sweet. Is the husband of my wife's friend, who is an ASL interpreter. You probably know Aaron from a previous video. So Kyle, we just thank you for coming on and sharing your experiences with everybody and just educating the world on, what right looks like and how we can just interact better with each other. So I'll give the floor to you, sir. Please tell us your story and about yourself. So first of all, let's find out what you like to do besides get in trouble from time to time. I know you're a rowdy guy sometimes. No, but
oh yeah. Just behind the wheel though. Only behind the wheel.
What's your hobbies?
Do what?
Do you have any hobbies?
Oh yeah. I like to do art from time to time. I play a lot of video games. Aaron and I have actually been into making music and stuff. We found an app on our Mac computer that's GarageBand. There's like a bunch of loops, and you can play your own instruments if you have like plugins and keyboards and things. We don't have all of that, but we kind of see what kind of sounds good with the loops and kind of just make music that we like to chill to and paint and stuff.
Cool. And what's your job?
What my job? I work at FedEx. I'm a delivery driver.
Cool. And you've probably been super busy this time of year, I assume.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was insane. My average day went from like probably 60 to 70 stops, which I was done at like 1, 2 o'clock usually, because I got pretty well organized and figured out my route and done. But then it went from that to like 120 stops. Like my van is like completely full all the way to the top. I can't even see out of the back windows. Like every time I'm getting something out, like a bunch of things are falling and hit me in the head. I'm going to restack it, Jenga, doing a yoga position to get this particular box out of the thing. It's just craziness. I've got muscles in places I didn't even know I have now. I'm
You work those out now. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's been crazy.
Awesome. Well, tell us, Kyle, how was it growing up? Like, what have your experiences been as you grow up working through how people treat someone with cleft lip and cleft palate? How's that been?
It's been very difficult. I feel kind of like the way my wife explained it, like growing up as being a mixed race person, never being able to fit into one category because you're X amount of whatever of the other thing and you can't really fit in. I've kind of always felt that way, sort of like I didn't have like a group of people that I really could call like my really, really close friends, except for I've got my 2 very, very close friends that I've had since forever. They're like 1 in a million people that I met, that I could actually trust, that I could, what I mean? I guess with my cleft and everything, it helped me be a person that could read people pretty well and their intentions and be empathetic and that, because it came from that like depression sort of state of like, can I trust you? Like, are you going to be nice to me? Are you being nice to me because you actually like me? Are you being nice to me because this is going to be a joke at some point? You're going to embarrass me in some way, or and I never wanted to like step on anybody's toes. Like, I've just always been kind of that person. And that started at a very, very young age, just wanting to be, away from everybody and not be like the focus of the jokes and that,
Did that happen a lot, being focused, the jokes focused on you? I mean, how did that?
Not a lot. Like if I was the class clown. So like if I would say something and it like, if it landed, it was great. And if it like bombed, it was like, oh, look at you, flat nose or whatever, insert whatever adjective they decide to use that day, And then when that, Hunchback of Notre Dame movie came out, that was, you know, never ending. I got that for like a couple of years.
How did they equate you to the Hunchback? What? I don't see it.
Because, then I really still don't have good posture, but I really had bad posture in elementary school. I was kind of hunched, now I'm like, every time I think about it, I kind of have to, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
shoulders back, yeah.
Gotcha.
But it came with that time. And I think that area, those kids were rude, and just my generation was crazy. My particular class in that school district was insane. We were the first ones that they outlawed us having a field trip because there were so many fights and people having sex and like all these things. Like our principal started crying at one point in time because we had a pep rally thing, and like a fight had just popped off in the hallway on the way to this thing. And then like they caught somebody having sex under the bleachers apparently. But yeah, it was wild.
Wow. So you had a few friends that you could count on, did that, and I love it. I know you're very empathetic, so that really shaped you to be a better person. But I can't imagine how that led you through your life. So when after you got done with school and all the jokes and all the other things, how was it in your adult life connecting with people? Did you find the same issues?
I feel like it's some people I can tell will be cool with me no matter what, and I can pretty much tell that like just like the first time I get to talk to them. If they talk to me like a normal person, like we're talking now, then I can be like, okay, you're not going to judge me. I can kind of be more of myself, be more jokey and, cheerful, whatever, whatever the situation needs, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? I just like to be a bright, fun kind of person, or maybe a funny joke here and there. Might be dark. Who knows?
Well, we enjoy those jokes, so I like
it. Yeah. Yes.
Do you still have those encounters with people where they look at you and go, well, he's got a cleft lip, so I'm going to make some inappropriate comment, or are people pretty careful about that?
In Texas, it seemed like people would be more prone or boisterous to like, oh, bless his heart, but and say something. But Oregon, I don't know. Erin had made a comment to somebody in a store that we were at, or she was talking to the cashier, I think, and she said something about me having a cleft lip, and the person at the register was like, oh, around here, that's like those type of people are celebrities because it's like kind of not something that's like normal or whatever. And I was like, that's kind of an odd way to look at it, but that's cool. But yeah, in Texas, that was, I don't know, like I said in that Facebook post, that it's like they equate if something's not 100% right, that you're just automatically mentally inferior, and we should just explain stuff to you really slowly, or like to the basic level of what needs to happen to get this, to the end result. And I can tell when people think I'm an idiot because they start, well, you got to turn the thing and then you put, and then we can do this, and then that process is done, and then we can start the new process. And I'm like,
Breaking it down Barney style is what we'd say in the military.
yeah, and I'm like, okay.
Wow. So I mean, how's that affected you, just having certain people talk to you like you don't understand, or you don't have a high IQ just based on the fact that you might not look exactly like them?
Just I don't know if it's just me and I'm a beacon or whatever for these type of people, but it's just like I encounter the people that want to be rude to someone, and for some reason it's me. Like people have said some really offhand, off-color stuff to me just over the years, just like, oh yeah, like just shit that like means a lot to me, but they were like, that's not a big deal. But it's like, if you even knew me half as much as you think that you did, you would never say anything like that, because I would never say anything like that to you or call anybody out like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's just, I don't know. There's very few people in the world that I can like believe that I can be myself around. It's my very close, friends and my family, the circle is getting a little bigger every day as I branch out and let my heart, maybe get broken a little bit.
Gotcha. Can you share with us the story about, and I know I read that in your Facebook post too, that, people will treat you different when you have a mask on, when they don't see that, you have a cleft lip, and then maybe they treat you a little bit different than they would if you weren't wearing a mask. What
Yeah.
prompted that?
Because I've noticed more, like, whenever I was in Amazon delivery, I began working with Amazon, like, at the very, very beginning of the whole mask and everything ordinance and gloves and all that stuff, right? So then when I was delivering, I could tell people were, talking to me in a certain way, like, oh, hey, thanks a bunch, talked really slow and whatever. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Here you go, man. Like, see you later. And I leave. And then now that I'm wearing the mask and things, I can tell that they think I'm like a normal dude. You know what I mean? This is like, oh, hey, how's it going, man? How you doing? Oh, like they're more engaging it, I guess, so to speak. And it's like, it more felt like when I wasn't wearing the mask, it was like, oh yeah, get out of here. Like, oh God, no, gross. You're going to get on me. Oh no, And I'm like, I don't know.
Man, I mean, I don't even know how you get through the day like that with, the jokes or the looks or the people talking to you like you don't understand English. I just,
Yeah.
knowing your heart and how big of a heart you have, I just can't even understand how anybody could treat anyone that way, but especially you. So it really just, it surprises me.
Well, it's a lot of people in the world that are like heartless and just or not really necessarily heartless, but just don't care who they're hurting with their comments. And they just think, oh man, like, it's funny to me, whatever. And like, I like to be funny, but if the second that I feel like it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, like actually deep down, like, I'm not going to do that. And I will apologize up and down, and I know that I've hurt people's feelings and like jokes and things that I've said over the years. And it makes me feel bad just thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And I love it, but it really just hits me when people say, you know what? I mean, people are just too sensitive. It was just a joke and they just need to get over themselves. And I just like, no, because you're being a jerk and maybe you need to think about somebody else but yourself when you throw these things out, because there's just wrong things to say and there's thoughtful things to say. And if it may hurt someone, then you don't have a right to say it. I mean, you can say it, but you shouldn't have a right to say it. Like, your inner compass should say, if this hurts someone, it's not for me to put out there in the universe. So I appreciate that you do that. That's such a nice thing. And you're right. A lot of people go, I don't care. It was just a joke, or why are you so sensitive, or you need to get over it, or fill in the blank. And they have all kinds of reasons and rhymes why they can be a jerk and get away with it. So I appreciate that you're not one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been that person before, and I'm trying to be better, even with my wife. She'll probably tell you I was a little rude, in my jokes, but yeah, I mean, she gives me the backhand and I'm, she bruises my eye, and then I learn maybe I don't need to say that anymore. No, I'm just joking.
Of course. Erin's a very nice person. She would never, but she's training you. So that's good. We all need it. We've all said things that we wish we didn't, and but we need to learn and grow from them instead of making excuses and continue the badness. So I appreciate that you do that so much. I'm so sorry for the way that people treat you, because they don't understand. I can't even imagine. I just can't imagine, and so I'm really sorry. If you could teach everyone one thing, what would that be in interacting with each other and with somebody who might not look like them?
I feel like more like an empathy thing. I found I think it was a stand-up comedian, and this part of what he was saying was not really the joke, but he was like, I basically envision myself in every other person's body that, maybe that person is exactly me. I just made a couple of choices, or I was a woman, or, I was a man and I was a tall man, or I was a short guy and I, did this. It's like every single thing, that's basically you. So there's no point in you being mean to yourself, even though it's, not really you. But it's a weird way to think about it. But I just think like that could be, the way that I look at that is like, I'm not going to be, or at least not intentionally, be rude to somebody for no reason. If you give me a reason to be like, if you're rude to me first, I'm going to probably back down a little bit. And then, you know, after a while, be like, look, man, leave me alone, please. You know, that
Right.
kind of thing. But it's like, I don't know. So
No, I
I
love
just
that.
try not to be rude to anybody unless it's like, it's warranted, you know?
Right. No, that's a good point. Is put yourself in in somebody else's body or somebody else's shoes and see how they feel. And, you know, instead of saying, well, I mean, they're just too sensitive, get in your skin and figure out why that makes somebody upset. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's awesome. Is there, you know, do you think that people need to be more educated about minorities or people that don't look with them? Maybe they learn more, or is it maybe just these conversations may help somebody understand?
Honestly, this talking about things like this is what's bringing light to it the most, I think. I am a big person that wants to embrace in others' cultures. Like my wife has introduced me to so many like different foods and things that I've tried like over the past, we've only been together for 3 years, but like stuff that I would have never tried just because, you know, dumb American, like, it's not, you know, burger and fries. I don't want it. No, you know,
Yeah.
but this stuff is like Thai food is like one of my favorite stuff now. There's a ramen place in North Fort Worth that a friend of mine runs that's like so good. And I love embracing other cultures, you know, and food. You can figure out so much about people and their group and struggles and things from the food that they produce, in my opinion. You know, the street food is basically what you're buying in a restaurant, just kind of like churched up to be sold to the masses. But
Right.
I love it. I love it. But I know that's a weird tangent, but
No, that's not. That's a great point. I mean, I think it's connecting with people outside of our own group. You see, you know, if my group of friends all looks like me, then there's a problem. For me, I cannot function that way. I need people that are different. I want different orientations, different colors, different religions, different everything, so that when we
yeah,
sit at the table, we learn and grow from each other. As you've been to a few of our connected get-togethers, you know, if we
yeah,
all look alike and we all think alike, then I can't grow, and I don't do well like that. So I like to
exactly.
learn, you know, if you're different than me, I'm going to hunt you down and figure out like, you know, how your life is and what can I learn? Cause I think we learn so much from each other. So that's a wonderful gift that you gave the audience to teach them to do that. You know, how would you go about that? You know, I mean, if somebody came up and said, hey, can I ask you some questions? You know, I'm just kind of curious. How would you react to that?
Um, I would like this situation. Probably just be forthcoming and honest. You know, just nobody can be you but you. You know what I mean? So, and just be honest with people, and I feel like that resonates positivity into the world. You know, basically you're gonna get out what you put into it. If you're, you know, for lack of a better term, like bag of shit your whole life, you know, robbing people and killing and all that kind of thing, you're probably going to end up in that cycle of, you know, negativity is always kind of just a cloud over you that you never can get ahead. But if you're, you know, more of a positive person helping out your fellow neighbor, no matter their color, creed, sex, whatever, then you're probably going to have more like cool stuff happening to you. You know, people are opening doors for you, or, you know, you might be getting some special treatment or something whenever you know, hey, we don't normally do this, but, you know, here's a coupon or something like that, you know. But I don't know. That's just the way that I've kind of lived my life, trying not to be imposing on anybody and just be like a positive light for my, you know, nephews and nieces and everybody else that relies on me and my family, you know.
I love it. I love it. Kyle, is there anything else that you want to share with the audience to kind of make people's eyes open to how we treat each other?
Just like I said, just embracing the culture and being more empathetic towards people. You know, maybe somebody that doesn't look like you could be your best friend. You have no idea until you spark up a conversation. I can't tell you how many people I've just randomly been, you know, made a comment and, you know, they've been really cool and we just have, you know, a couple minute conversation. You know, they feel like they've known me their whole life, they say sometimes, you know. But, you know, those kind of conversations that like organic just happens in the moment. I love that stuff. And that's what makes me happy, you know, day to day, like having that kind of an interaction with someone, you know. And
Amazing.
I feel like, you know, even somebody just saying, hey, thanks for delivering my package, like that's cool to me, You know, it means more than like, you know, whip the door open, whip the package in, whip the door shut, you know, and you hear, you know, the dog, you know, that, hey, thanks, you know, that means more than a lot what people, I guess, imagine it means, you know.
Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of people think this time of year, you know, and I'm in the customer experience business, as you know, and so you know, you really are customer focused, or you should be. But I think the other side of that, being a customer, is looking at the person, providing you with that experience, and being nice to them. You know, I remember being in Walmart, just seeing this girl, just she was about to break down, like they were yelling, you know, customer was yelling at her, and she was just having this worst day. And so I was like, hey, I want you to know I appreciate what you do. Like, I know it's Christmas Eve, you could be home, but you're here, you're providing us a good experience, and I just want to say thanks. And you know, she just like, I want to hug you. No, not now, you won't. But you know, it made her night. And I think it's just like with you guys. I mean, I could tell the Amazon guy, hey, Merry Christmas, but he'll just laugh because he knows he'll be here tomorrow. So you know, he
Yeah.
comes. So we have that relationship. But yeah, I mean, being kind to someone who's giving you that experience or that service is critical. Just to remember again what being in your shoes, and I can't imagine like packages hitting me, having to play Jenga with them, and
Yeah.
push at the right time because that kid wants their present, you know, and
Yeah.
you're doing that, and that's an awesome thing. So you know, I don't think people tell FedEx or UPS or Amazon thanks a lot, but I thank you because I go online for all my shopping, especially this year. You guys delivered Christmas. You guys did that. So,
Oh, yeah.
and Santa, of course, helped, right? For all those people
Oh,
that
yeah. Oh, yeah.
believe still. My wife says if I don't believe, I can't receive, and I like presents, so I believe. But you guys are as helpers, and I know it's not easy, and I know it's frustrating. And on top of, you know, people that treat you bad already because you have a cleft lip, now they treat you like crap because you're a delivery driver, and they're like, I just want my package. I mean, it's just, it stacks up, and I'm sure it beats you down. And so I thank you for what you do because it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Well, Kyle, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Connected Empowerment, you know, that is the lesson for the day. It doesn't matter what color of skin you have, what your religion is, what your disabilities are, what you look like. If you think different, just connect with someone and find out why they are who they are, and how you can connect and be a nice person. It doesn't take anything to be nice. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you think it might hurt somebody's feelings, why say it? There's not an excuse to say, well, they're too sensitive. Maybe you're just kind of being a jerk. So don't do that. Be nice, say nice, put it out in the universe, like Kyle said, and get nice back. If we all do that and extend out that olive branch to each other, we'll start to heal this nation. So, you know, take the time, get to know someone who doesn't know, look or feel or do anything like you. Just be nice and just connect. And we'll see you tomorrow with a few more episodes. Thank you, Connected Empowerment, and we'll see you soon.